Hey, I'm Becca with the Happy Ever Crafter, and in this video, I'm gonna show you a really easy last minute gift idea you can make in minutes. I'm gonna show you how to make beaded bow ornaments. I did not invent this idea. I have been seeing this everywhere for years and years, but I decided that this was gonna be the year that I figured out how to make them. I made a ton of these for my friends this year and I learned a lot along the way, so I thought I would walk you through how to make them so that you can make them for your friends too, because they are such an easy, thoughtful gift idea. Let's just jump right into it. Okay, so one of my favorite things about doing this project is that you can use any beads you want, and you can even, like, one of my favorite things to do is buy necklaces, old necklaces at the thrift store. So this cost me $2.99 and it has all different kinds, like all different sizes of beads on it, which is like epic. If I were to buy this many pearl beads at the craft store, it would cost me a fortune. And then this one was at the craft store too. It's just perfect. It's made for exactly what I want to do. So grab yourself an assortment of beads. Like I said, these are just from the thrift store. These ones are all from Amazon. So I think I'm going to start with the pearl ones. Mostly because I'm most excited about them, but also because there's 3 different sizes of bead on here. And I think it's gonna work really well to have one bigger bead in the middle and then use these smaller ones. So I'm gonna actually just cut this up, which feels kind of crazy, but you know, that's the point. Okay, let's put the beads in here. There's the end that I cut, there we go. Okay, so if you're using a necklace, get all the beads off. Step number 1. If not, you can just use whatever beads you have and skip this step. I love this idea of using the thrifted stuff though, because obviously it's good to reuse, recycle, but also it costs way less than buying beads. I don't know if anybody's ever looked for like high quality glass beads or even just like normal not glass beads. They're so expensive. Okay, these are not gonna fall off unless I pull them, so that's good enough for now. Oh my God, I spoke too soon. Okay, they're everywhere. Hold on a second. Nope, I lost them all. So that's, you know what? I'm just gonna be finding pearls all around my office for the time being. Okay, so there we go. I've got my pearl beads ready. Now I'm gonna take my gold wire. Obviously it doesn't have to be gold. You can use whatever color you want. I got gold, and I actually wish I had gotten like a slightly heavier wire. I don't actually remember what the gauge of this is, but I have learned that the smaller the gauge number, the heavier duty the wire. So I wish I had gotten a slightly heavier one, but it's okay. It'll still work. So I'm gonna cut myself like a significantly long piece here, just because I don't actually know how long I'm gonna need it. And ideally you're using wire cutters. I don't have any, so I'm just using scissors. And basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a whole bunch of the smaller beads onto the wire first. TBD how many, we'll see. I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm not like a beaded bow making pro, or even a beading pro at all. I just am experimenting with it the same that you probably are. But the idea is that you string one side, and then you put a bigger bead to be the center, and then you string the other side, and you can attach them all together. So I'm gonna add a whole bunch of little beads for my first side of my bow. And like you can bend it to see, you know, like that's not gonna be big enough. I want it to be significantly bigger than that. So I'm gonna add a lot more, and you know, keep adding a lot more if they keep falling off. I don't need to be holding that. Okay, here we go. I can do this faster. And you know what? I'll skip forward in the video for you, so you don't have to watch me string 100 beads. Okay, I feel like that's probably good for my first, yeah, that's totally good. So that's gonna be my first loop. So I need to count how many beads that is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 17, 18, 19. You know what? It needs to be 20 just to satisfy my soul. 19 is too uneven. Okay, so it's 20 beads. Perfect. And now I'm gonna add one bigger one in the center. This is not like, it's not required, but I find it just looks a little better. So there we go. So that's gonna be the first part of my bow. Then I'm gonna add exactly 20 more beads to make the second side. Okay, so now I've got 20 beads on either side and my bigger one in the middle. I'm gonna push my beads kind of to the center of the wire I have. And I'm gonna take this first end, string it through the middle bead. So now it makes my loop. I'm gonna do the same thing with the other side. String it through the middle bead and pull it out. And then we're gonna pull them both nice and tight. So we have the beginnings of our bow. Look how cute it is already. I love this. Okay, so we're gonna pull that nice and tight, like I said. It's gonna come a bit loose, but you can also wrap it. I like to wrap it once or twice around the middle there, once it's nice and tight, just so that it really kind of holds its shape. And if you had a heavier wire, that might not be necessary, but my wire is like pretty flimsy. So there we go. There's the start of our bow. I'm loving the way this looks already. And now I'm just gonna string the smaller beads again onto each of the bottom pieces of my bow. I shouldn't have mixed my big beads and my small beads together, but here we are. So again, I'll fast forward this part, but I'm gonna try using 20 again and see if I like the way it looks. I think it might be a little bit long, but who knows? So that's 10. And I guess it just depends what style you're looking for. Maybe you want it to look like shorter and cutesy like that. I think 20 is definitely gonna be too long, but I think 10 is a little too short. So I might just add a couple more. You know what? I think 12 is the move. Yeah, I like 12. Okay, so now once I have this, again, I'm gonna pull it nice and tight and hold it there. And then I'm gonna wrap this wire into the last bead and pull it nice and tight. And there we go. There is our first side. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. There we go, I've got my 12. I'll wrap my wire into the last bead. Pull it nice and tight. And there we go. There's our bow shape. Okay, so I've seen kind of two things you could do. You could, if you had a lot of wire left, and if it's flimsy like mine and you wanted yours to be a little bit more structured, you could have taken that wire and strung it all the way back through to go up and make your loop up here. Personally, I kind of like it being a little more flimsy like this. So I'm gonna cut my wire. I'm gonna kind of just like fold over the end a little so it's not pokey. There we go. Same thing over here. Okay, and then I'm gonna take one of these pieces of leftover wire that I have, and I'm going to make my loop. How should I do this? Yeah, I'm just gonna wrap it around. I mean, you can do this so many ways. I am not a perfectionist about anything. If you've been following my channel, you know that's the case. So I'm just wrapping it a few times around one side of the bead. I'll wrap it a few times around the other. And I like to make a nice long loop because there's nothing worse than a short attachment onto a Christmas tree. Nothing worse. Okay, so I'm wrapping it a few times around the big bead. Get my loop coming up here, and then I can kind of like reshape everything. There we have it. Beaded ornament number 1. It is so cute. I think what I want to do is show how it would look with some of these bigger beads. So I might actually, I'm gonna do it in red just to make it pop a little more on camera. So these are significantly bigger beads, and I only have the one size of bead for these. So we'll see how different it looks with these bigger beads and only one size. Okay, so nice long piece. And let's see how many beads we think this one will take. This is where I wish I had heavier wire because I think that this one might get a little flimsy with how heavy these beads are. But we'll see. I might try like 6 beads. and see how that looks. Okay, is that gonna be enough? Might need to be 7. Yeah, I think that's better. Then we'll have 1 in the middle, and it's gonna be the same size. So 7, and then 8 will be the middle one, and then I need to do 7 more. So now I've got 7, 1 in the middle, and then 7 again. So I'm gonna center this and find that middle bead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, this is my middle. Stringing it through. These beads are so pretty. Okay, string it through. There we go. So it looks a little different without a big one in the middle, but I didn't want to go and buy like a whole pack of this size and a whole pack of bigger ones. It's just, they're really expensive. So I think that it'll look cute this way regardless. And so I pull them really tight, and I'm gonna wrap my wire around that middle part again. Okay, I've got my loops, and now we'll add the bottom parts. Now obviously this is making a much bigger bow, totally different look, but that's what's so fun about this project is you can customize it to whatever like decor style you have or whatever beads you find at the thrift store. I'll obviously link to the beads that I'm using that I got on Amazon if anyone wants these exact ones. Yeah, I think that's good. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, let's secure that before I mess it up. And then same thing on this side, 5 of them. Cute. I don't know if this translates that well on camera, but it's like iridescent almost. They're like purpley, reddish, pinkish. I love them. Okay, and then I'll add my loop. And there we have it. Bow number 2. Cute, cute, cute. Okay, the last one I want to do, and I'll like super speed through this one. I just want to show you kind of the outcome, is I want to use these clear beads because they're a different shape. They're not round. So these ones are like diamond-y shaped, and I think they might look really cool. So let's try doing one more bow. I'll try and do it as fast as I can, but I'll also speed through the video for you because it's going to be the exact same process. Trying a different tying technique on this one, making it like a sort of braided loop up here. There we go. Exact same technique with clear beads. I actually think this one in particular with this style of bead would look much better with a bigger piece in the middle, but it's still really cute like this. Now I timed this last one and it took me 3 minutes and 30 seconds to make that. So I would say that that's a pretty quick and easy gift idea for anybody in your life. They're so cute. And there you have it. Now you have some gifts for your friends made in minutes. I hope you found this helpful. Next up, I'm going to link you to another video that I think you're going to like for the holidays, and I'll see you over there.